What's up YouTube? My name is Adam Wilson and this is Broke Man Finance. Welcome back. If you've been following this channel for a little while, then you may have seen one of my previous videos when I talked about NKLA and Hyliion and how I was very skeptical and critical of both companies. Now, I'm still not sold on NKLA or Trevor Milton, but I am feeling better about Hyliion, led by CEO Thomas Healy. In the video, I made comments about the technology. I didn't know how it worked, and that people that did know how it worked was claiming that it may not be as green as Hyliion and Mr. Healy was claiming for it to be. But I'm not an expert on how this stuff works like many of you, so I have to rely on the experts that know what they're talking about to explain it to me. But it was never the technology that concerned me. Although people were so mad and still mad, I'm still getting terrible comments and everybody's disliking the video, and that's okay. We all have our own opinions. But people were ready and are ready to kill me for speaking anything negative about Hyliion and still getting hate about NKLA. People are super invested in it, so they're super defensive. I completely understand, but they are speculative stocks. How dare you, you son of a... I'm not the only one. There's plenty of videos out there that share the same opinion that I do, but my opinion is starting to change. But like I said, it wasn't the technology that bothered me with the company. It wasn't. It was the disorganization that seemed to be happening at the top level of the company. People were talking about everybody at the top line at Hyliion being very young. There's nothing wrong with being young, but oftentimes that youth comes along with inexperience. It was being said that they were hiring friends for high-level positions, taking manager positions, and putting people in places that really weren't effective and didn't know how to perform at that level in that position. And those folks were making a lot of managerial mistakes. And this wasn't coming just from random people on YouTube or blogs. This was coming from employees within the company. This was coming from within the walls of Hyliion. They were making it sound more like a fraternity house than a company, and that talented people that were excited about the company were starting to leave. Now, I wasn't the only one that shared that same concern, since people have been talking. Over the past month, Tortoise Acquisition Company, ticker symbol SHLL, are down 30%. Now, Tortoise Acquisition Corporation, SHLL, is the company that's going to be merging with Hyliion. Again, it's never been about the technology. It's been about how the technology was going to be managed. On July 30th, an announcement was made that kind of made me change my mind a little bit and made me much more optimistic about the future of this company. Andrew Card Jr. was announced to join the board of Hyliion and offer guidance, support, help with logistics, and the most important thing to me that I thought most valuable thing was he was going to offer a mentorship to the young, smart group of people at Hyliion that's managing this company. And you look like a smart group of people too, so I would really appreciate it if you would smash that like button and remember to subscribe. If you don't know Andrew Card Jr. and you don't recognize that name, allow me to introduce him and listen to this ridiculous resume. First off, he's a Harvard grad. From 1989 to 1992, Card served in President George H. Bush's administration as assistant to the president and deputy chief of staff. From 1992 until 1993, Card served as the 11th U.S. Secretary of Transportation. In August 1992, at the request of President Bush, Secretary Card coordinated the administration's disaster relief efforts in the wake of Hurricane Andrew. He led the efforts in complete chaos and devastation. From 1993 to 1998, Card was president and chief executive officer, CEO, of the American Automobile Manufacturers Association, the trade association whose members were Chrysler Corporation, Ford Motor Company, General Motors Corporation, and we even went on to serve as the Vice President of Governmental Affairs for GM. In 2000, Card was appointed to be the Chief of Staff for President-elect George W. Bush. Do you know what kind of mover and shaker you have to be chosen to be the Chief of Staff for a president? Now, everyone in the entire world has seen Andy Card, but I doubt they even realize it. No matter if you follow politics or not, you're gonna recognize this moment. On September 11th, 2001, Card approached Bush as he was visiting Emma E. Booker Elementary School in Sarasota, Florida. Card whispered in his ear the news that a second plane had hit the World Trade Center, confirming that a terrorist attack was underway. He's the one whispering in Bush's ear in that infamous moment. However, most people are focusing on Bush's face and never pay attention to the guy that's actually talking to him. That's Andy Card. On July 5th, 2011, Card was named acting dean of the Bush School of Government and Public Service at Texas A&M University. It was announced on November 25th, 2014 that Card had been selected as the 5th president of Franklin Pierce University in New Hampshire. So he's used to leading, working, and helping and organizing young people do big things. He is currently on the board for Pacific Union Railroad and has held that position since 2006. He's also on the board for Dragonfly, a leading manufacturer for the commercial drone industry. Whatever you think about politics, whether you're a Republican, Democrat, Independent, Libertarian, it doesn't matter. You have to admit, you've got to give the man his props. He's a Harvard grad. He is a former chief of staff to a president. He has been in the administration of 2 presidents. He's the former Secretary of Transportation. He was the CEO of the American Auto Manufacturers Association. He has been the dean of colleges, plural. He is on multiple big-time boards. He's sought out on all kinds of things. He is a very, very good voice to have in this boardroom to help lead and guide and mentor this company to be able to do big things. I think this is huge news for these guys. I believe this news is bigger than what people are really giving it credit for. So Andy Dandy himself had this to say about Thomas and the company. Every successful company starts with a successful leader, and Hyliion has that in Thomas Healy. I have been continually impressed with his strategic vision and character, as well as his intentional approach to electrifying commercial trucking. I look forward to working with Thomas and the Hyliion team to realize the company's vision to spur meaningful and sustainable change in the global trucking and logistics industry. Now, Thomas had some optimistic and nice things to say about old Andy Dandy as well. Andy is an esteemed, seasoned executive hailing from some of the country's most demanding and integral leadership roles. His diverse professional career combined with his passion for driving innovative change in global logistics make him an ideal fit for our growing leadership team. Fleets, brands, and drivers need proven solutions now, and with Andy's, as well as our extended board's dynamic knowledge base, I'm confident our team will continue to build the world's leading electrified trucking technology. Upon the closing of Hyliion's business combination with Tortoise Acquisition Company and this merger takes place, the shareholders will have to approve the placement of Card onto the board with the other board members, including Howard Jenkins, former chairman and CEO of Publix Supermarkets. So that's Andrew Card. Now, I'm not saying I'm completely comfortable dumping my life savings into this company. I'm not. I wouldn't suggest anyone doing that. But again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a weirdo on YouTube. But I am a little more comfortable putting a little bit of money in there and actually buying shares. So at this point, I would be willing to buy some shares of Hyliion, and I would be willing to buy more shares once I see the level of interaction and participation that Mr. Card is going to have within the company. Because they could just say he's on the board and then he never does anything and the disorganization at that top line remains. Or if he's going to have an integral role in this company, then I feel much better that he can lead the way and help these guys really take this brand to another level. So at this point, I think it is a viable investment option. I just don't believe now, looking at it, that Card would have gotten involved with Hyliion if Hyliion was a complete disaster, didn't have any upside, and just wasn't full of potential. I think he would have stayed completely away from it. But his willingness to jump in there gives me a lot of a lot of hope that this is going to be a very good company for years to come. In all honesty, this may be a perfect time to pick up some shares because of that 30% decline. I am a man of my word, and I said that if these companies, including NKLA, did something significant to change my mind, then I would publicly, you can't get more public than YouTube, then I would admit it and I will consider it. And I feel the addition of Andrew Carr Jr. to this company's board and leadership is a really, really big and valuable thing. And that is significant enough for me to change my mind on the company. I'm still waiting to see this. It's still a kind of a speculative stock, but I feel much more comfortable in saying that I would buy this. That is all from me. As always, living like you're broke will make you rich. #BMF. I hope you stay safe and take care.